requested me to just for this, can I join with all of you through this webinar? So I thought, okay, as it's my responsibility, that yes, whatever I know, I can share with all of you. So it is just that I am not at all an expert in this field, but I am working on this because it is all of you know that this is a very new concept coming, and we have to learn a lot before implementing. We have to understand the policy before implementing it. So I am just trying to understand the thing which is behind this, and then it is my responsibility to work with all of you, that is all the teachers and as well as student must work together for the effective implementation of this national education policy. So let me start the session. And meanwhile, you can put your questions if you have some question. And yes, I'll request Manoj sir to collect that so that he can share with me, right? Now, when we talk about national education policy, we first got this document. You know, this we received in 2019, and the name written was Draft National Policy. And this document was a very, very immense, voluminous document. It was like 484 pages, like that. And it was impossible to read out all the things at that time. But as a National Institute teacher, the government of India asked us that, okay, some of the institutes or maybe all the institutes need to send feedback about this policy. Then I actually gone through a higher education part because we are handling technical education, and then some feedback, some comments about the query of how it is going to be implemented. We send our opinion. So I think nationwide that feedback collected, and then when we found that yes, when we get our national education policy, the final one, which is published, then this document is not at all this, but it is a 60 pages document which we can read properly. But one thing I can share with you, that yes, if you have to understand this national education policy 2020, then you have to get back to the draft educational policy 2019, because the explanations will help you to understand the policy document which is published basically as NEP 2020. Okay, so it is for all of you to note that yes, wherever you have some doubt while going through NEP 2020, you must go back, have the document of draft national policy, and you can try to clarify yourself, right? This is my experience, that's why. Now, coming to the evolution of educational policy or education policy, we can remember that yes, University Education Commission, which was established in 1948-49. Then we got Secondary Education Commission, that was in 1952-53. Then we got Education Commission, which is 1964-66, under Dr. D.S. Kothari. We call it Kothari Commission. And education was intended, as per that Kothari Commission, it was intended to increase productivity, okay, and develop social and national unity, consolidate democracy, modernize the country, develop social, moral, and spiritual values. So, according to that commission report, actually, education was intended for this. Now, we can say this started not today, but from 1964-66. To achieve this, the main pillar of Indian education policy was to be free and compulsory education for all children up to the age of 14. So that was actually finalized or decided in the year of 1964 to 66 through this Kothari Commission. As a result, during Srimati Indira Gandhiji's time, we got this national policy on education in the year of 1968. And that was actually based on recommendation of Kothari Commission. So we got the NEP 1968 based on this report of or recommendation of Kothari Commission. Main points are here, right? Then we got this 42nd constitutional amendment, which was done in 1976. After that, during Rajiv Gandhiji's time, we got this national policy on education in the year of 1986, right? So after this amendment, then again we got this in 1986. So after 68, next NEP is 1986. Then this same NEP actually modified in the year of 1992. But in the year of 2016, 27th May, we got this Subramanian Committee report. Based on this report, we got another committee, which is in 31st May 2019, which is Dr. K. Kosturirangan Committee report. And based on this committee report only, this draft, which I shared first, that is the draft National Education Policy 2019, which I told that is a 484-page document, and that was we got it in net only in the year of July 2019. And I also told that yes, feedback collected from ministry. Okay. And after that, nearly you can see after 1 year, basically, in the year of 2020, 29 July, we got this approved National Education Policy, NEP 2020. So this can be considered as the evolution of education policy, starting from that early 48, and you can see how it is changed, modified, and we got the national education policy. But you can see it's after a very long gap, 1986 and then this. So after it is 34 years, we got this. So a huge transformation, huge change is visible in this national education policy, right? Now see, in this document, that is the published document, is not so voluminous. I told it is only nearly 60-page document. So I will share with you the content. The part 1 content which is there is NEP 2020, but about school education. So it's completely covering the all dimensions of school education, right? Then part 2 is our higher education. In the higher education, the technical education is inbuilt. All professional educations are also inside that. So it is covering the domain of higher education. So 11 units are there on this higher education. You can see from 9 to 19, several factors are considered here, and each factor is means described separately. But as I told, if you have to understand each one of them, you may have to go back and see the draft National Education Policy 2019. Then the third part of its content is key areas of focus. What are the other key areas of focus? And the fourth part is making it happen, how it is going to be implemented. A simple guideline is given, but we have to work on that. Now, this is the complete content of this national education policy. It is divided into four parts. Now, see, in my this today's talk, I have focused mainly on higher education. But as you know, whenever we talk of higher education, we are accepting the children from school education, those who are going to finish it. So what I thought, let me have a very major or salient features of national education policy about the school education. Very important features, the important changes which is actually reflected through this national education policy about the school education. Now, the major change which we all have observed in the school education is this one: previous academic structure and the new academic structure, which is taught through this national education policy. You can see it was like 10 plus 2 structure was there, and you can see the age group of children from 6 to 16 in this 10 and 16 to 18 in the plus 2 standard. Now this is going to be changed, and this is 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 concept. This 5 is also divided, that is 1 is 3 plus 2. So this is Anganwadi school, or pre-primary concept is there, which is preschool. We call it preschool. So that is kept as 3 years. Okay. And this is compulsory for every children. It was optional beforehand, but it is now compulsory. And then class 2 is 1 and class 1 and class 2. So this totally named as foundational level. So this is termed as foundational level. Then coming to the preparatory. Preparatory is this plus 3. So 5 plus 3. And grade or class, if you consider, this is for the age group of 8 to 11. And you can see standard 3 to standard 5. This is comprises of 3, class 3, class 4, and class 5. So that is preparatory. Next layer is also plus 3, and it is termed as middle school. Age group is 11 to 14, and the class standards are 6 to 8. And the last one is named as secondary, which is duration is 4 years, age group is 14 to 18, and class covered is from standard 9 to standard 12. So this is the major change which is considered if you compare the curricular structure of previous school education and the school education reflected through this National Education Policy 2020. Now I can show you little also in this way. You can see this is reflecting one very important thing. Yes, 10 plus 2 modified to 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. So there will be conceptually new pedagogical as well as curricular restructuring. We have to restructure the curriculum which is now the schools are offering, and we have to restructure the way we teach, that is the pedagogical aspects of our teaching. So this is a major change indicated in NEP 2020. Then right to education, it was for the age group of 6 to 14. Now this is extended in both the sides. You can see from 3 to 18 will be the right to education. A few more things also added along with this. That is this language. You can see mother tongue or regional language to be the medium of instruction up to grade 5 or standard 5. This is one very major change mandatorily. School curriculum to be reduced to core concepts. So do not make a very voluminous curriculum, but it will be reduced. And this reduction will enable us to incorporate what? To integrate vocational education, which will be from grade 6 or class 6. In class 6 to 8, that is standard or grade 6 to 8, focus is on vocational studies. So that's why the curriculum change, it is very, very visible here, because we have to incorporate, we have to integrate vocational education mandatorily in the school curriculum. Experiential learning is the aim, and how the students will be experienced through this. You can see experiential learning including arts integrated, as well as sports will also be integrated as a part of education. Okay, and the way pedagogy will be in the form of storytelling based pedagogy. Okay, not giving one way traffic teaching, that is teacher is speaking and the students are listening only, but it will be like a experiential learning, when the students will be experience how to do the thing, how to learn by themselves. So the process of teaching would need a drastic or major change in this school education. Okay, so this is the, I have just given you a very, very major change or main changes in school education, because this change is needed when they will come and join higher education. Okay, because if we want to change them in higher education after standard 12, it is very, very difficult to change, because they already make themselves the process of learning, that is already done in the school level. So this is the main point about this NEP is, it is starting at the very early age of a learner or student at the age of 3. Now, as I said, yes, the vocational education will be an integrated part of school education. So I need to share with you also some salient feature of NEP 2020 about the vocational education. What is the thought about that? How it is going to be integrated with our school education? So then NEP 2020, rethinking vocational education, because we have kept them a separate identity. Vocational education not the conceptually not connected to the main education system. Okay, mainstream education system, I should say. Now it is thinking that how these two can also be integrated. That means mainstream education and vocational education. That's why I've kept a heading of rethinking vocational education. Now, coming to that, let's see what is our condition. Now, acceptance of vocational education as a career of choice, we don't always appreciate that. Okay, well, we don't. Even if it is for my own children, I will think twice whether I'll be accepting it or not, right? So that social stigma is there. Then lack of professional growth and career advancement for the vocational pass outs. So they don't know what will be the fate, or how they will be changing their profession, upgrading themselves and getting a good position in society. They don't know, because that roadmap is not very clearly given. Development of quality standard acceptable to industries. Even the courses are offering, but nobody actually tried to make it a standard one, the standard which will be accepted by the industry. So that part also none worked on that. So it is the time when we should work that, yes, one certification, and that certificate must be accepted by the industry. The standardization of vocational education need to be done. Pathways for employability of vocational pass outs, and we should see where is the mismatch between demand and supply. They should get the job, they should be employed, but where is the gap? Where we should develop the skill is needed where, and where we are producing. So these two must be checked. So we need to see the pathways of employability of vocational students. Now you can note this point that this policy, this policy actually observes that less than 5% of Indian workforce within the age group of 19 to 24 receives formal vocational education. See, it is only less than 5% in India. Whereas if you compare it with other countries like US, you can see this is 52%. In Germany, you can see this is 75%. In South Korea, this is 96. So you can see what is the condition, status of vocational education in India, and what is the actual, our global status is telling us something else. Then why not we can also do that? So that is a question, and that question is actually analyzed by the policymakers, and it is totally reflected when they prepared the policy, right? So what is basically done is this: policy highlights the importance of removing rigid distinctions between vocational and academic streams. So, main aim is to remove this distinction, and it should be considered same as mainstream education. So, this is the point very well taken care, and eliminating harmful hierarchies between different areas of learning. So nobody will be going to identify, okay, this is vocational, so it's lower, and our engineering is very high, or professional education is higher. So nobody will be looking at that way, for vocational education, if this policy is implemented properly. The policy also aims to incorporate the teaching of vocational skills within the school curriculum to augment innovation, adaptability, productivity. So this is also taken care. Yes, in the school education only, there would be teaching of vocational skill. He or she, the learner, need not go to another institute where only he will be learning vocational thing. Not in that. The main school will provide the mainstream education, as well as vocational education, right? So this is the first step of integration of vocational education in mainstream school education. What has been taught then? Students from grades or class 6 to 8 will also be encouraged to participate in a 10-day bagless period. This is the initiative taken. Let there be 10-day for the students of class 6 to class 8, that they will have a classroom bagless. So bagless period. Okay, wherein what they will do then? They may intern with local vocational experts. So they will go and work with them, learn from them, or maybe they will come and show them something where they can get their vocational education through the experts only. But this is local. Local vocational experts will be with those students from class 6 to class 8 for 10 days. Those 10 days will be bagless day for them, right? So internship opportunities to learn vocational subjects will also be available to the students throughout grade 6 to 12. So you can see they will be learning vocational education. Now it is separated out. Some students are learning, it is optional, but in this case it will be mandatory, and all of them will get a chance of what is the subject, so how to do that, how to make or have the skill, develop the skill. All those things they will be doing mandatorily from class 6 to class 12, including during holiday periods. So maybe internship it has to be there for the school children also, planned during the holiday period, right? So this is how the integration of vocational education is actually planned through NEP 2020. Now, this is the background. With this background, we are entering into the national education policy, some salient features for higher education, where I have kept my focus basically. So, what are the things we got? We got the changes in school education, the major change in the structure, major change in the, I should say, the pedagogical teaching processes, major change in the age group, which is extended both way from 3 to 18, change in the another feature, which is that language, that is the student will be now up to class 6 or standard 6, the regional language will be the medium of instruction, or mother tongue can be the medium of instruction, right? That so these are the changes. Another very important point we noted, that yes, vocational education will not remain as a separate education system, but this will be integrated with school education mandatorily, right? So this is the summary of what we discussed up to this. Now entering into the higher education. I'll request you, you can just keep your questions if it is there. At the end of this topic, actually, whole, I will be just trying to give you answer if I can, right? Now, higher education system in India, we were talking, we were discussing, we were analyzing our own higher education system for a long period. Okay, and the major problems observed by us, the teachers, all of us, along with the other stakeholders of higher education system, like parents, like industry, our community, our society, even the government. And you can see those problems are reflected while or they have considered those issues while constructing the NEP 2020. So what are the points they considered? Let me see. The one very important point which is at the center of this national education policy is that yes, there are thousands of higher educational institutes in our country. Okay, it's you can see more than 50,000 higher education institutes. Okay, but the institutes are offering not a very large number of students. This is very limited. Some specialized courses are going on, programs are running. So this is one point considered, that standards are not same. Okay, and that's why they are giving degree, but it is degrees are not at par. Okay, so it is noted, you can see, in which little or no education is taking place. It's a very, very direct statement. Little education or no education is taking place. So this is the first point. So first point you can see taken care is large number of educational institutes which is existing nowadays will not be there, because this is a major problem. And if we go for the solution is do not keep them. Then what? Next point considered poor learning outcomes and development of cognitive skills of students. As I said, yes, no education, so certainly there will be poor learning outcome. Then rigid separation of disciplines, too much early specialization, and streaming of students into narrow areas of study. So it's a department to department collaboration is not there. Even in the same department, it is like very early specialized courses are given. So it's a means overall education is not provided to them. Very, very specific things done. Okay, so this is another. So the study is very within very narrow areas. A lack of access to higher education, especially in socio-economically disadvantaged groups or areas. So that is also there. All of them passing the school are unable to enter into higher education because of certain reasons. So they have considered those things also. That indicates that there will be a chances to entering those socio-economically disadvantaged students in the mainstream education, right? So as it is taken care. A lack of teacher and institutional autonomy to innovate and excel. Everything is from the top itself. Teacher has got no autonomy. Even the institutes are also not having autonomy. Why? Because this is approved under some technical university or some other university. That's why autonomy of the institute as well as autonomy of the teacher is presently not there. So no innovation, no excellence because of that limitation. Inadequate mechanism for merit-based career management and progress of faculty and institutional leaders. So the mechanism is also not there. How to give them, award them, or in career advancement, what will be the mechanism, which is not very clearly indicated. So the teachers are unable to know what they should do for that. So here also there must be some open criteria sheet which the teacher must know and must improve themselves or achieve those criteria. The next is a lack of research at most universities and colleges, and transparent, competitive, competitive, peer-reviewed research funding across discipline. Always everybody is asking for research, but where is the funding? The institutes are not having the ability to provide fund. Then how to get fund and how to do the research, continue the research? So this point is also well taken care, and we'll see what is decided also. Suboptimal governance and leadership. So yes, since autonomy is not there, so leadership governance is also not up to the optimal level. And this is very important point, the regulatory system that is not empowered to close down fake colleges while constraining excellent and innovative institutions. So both the things it is hampering, since there is not an effective regulatory system. Some fake colleges are going on, running, nobody is there to stop them. Number two, there are some very, very good innovative institutes. They are also not actually uh, getting that means acceptance by the regulatory system, because basically no effective regulatory system is there. You can see the 10th point which they have noted is this: problems associated with large affiliating universities resulting in poor undergraduate education in colleges. So it is noticed that one university, state technical university or something like that, they are actually affiliating more than 800 colleges. So how this can be done by one university, and then it is just for the name sake it is going on, but actually there are several problems with the institutes, those who are under that university, right? So this is the high time when it should be taken into consideration. So these are the points which already noted, and this is recognized by the commission, and they have worked on that issue. And it is also decided that yes, we need transformation from teacher centric traditional education to learner centric outcome based education. This is one point already taken care. Then graduate engineers should have requisite technical knowledge as well as skill, along with deep sense of quality, work ethics, motivation, interpersonal skill, teamwork skills, leadership, critical and creative thinking. So curriculum must give the scope or opportunity to develop all those things within the institute level only. And it is only possible when the institute itself is an autonomous one. They can think for themselves, and the teachers also can plan innovative way of teaching when they are autonomous also. And another thing which is today's requirement, you know, we all are actually doing all the times this online courses. So now if again this COVID period is over, then also I don't believe that all of us will be again completely 100% shifting to contact mode. Though we'll be starting the contact mode, there will be online courses live, because we have now understood the benefit of this, which is not possible in contact mode. We can do it through this online digital teaching or digital learning process, right? So this point is also taken very well means care, which is use of ICT tools in learning teaching process. And as we all are doing it, it is actually changing the role of a teacher from mere provider of information to facilitator of learning. So the things will be given, things will remain online. Students as per their requirement, they are able to go to that, see it whenever they will be getting the time or any query with them. They will not get the teacher in person, so there will be online courses always assisting them or promoting the self learning, or I should say self directed learning of our students, right? So in this national education policy, this digital learning has got a very effective role or major role, okay, while forming the or is publishing this national education policy. And it is understood that educators of today, that is teachers like all of us, need to plan a thinking classroom instead of a listening classroom. And this will actually promote active learning. So the teaching process need a transformation, as we already said, and we have to convert, we have to transform our listening classroom to a thinking classroom. And in that way, the thinking classroom will be a hybrid one. Some part will be the contact classroom, some will always be that online classroom. Okay. Now coming to the vision of NEP. Vision is based on, you can see, National education policy envisions an education system rooted in Indian ethos that contribute directly to transforming India, and they prefer the name Bharat sustainably into an equitable, this is one term, vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. So it is not within the country, but outside the country, in the world, globally, it should be recognized. And that's why the policy is basically trying to develop among the students deep sense of respect towards the fundamental duties, constitutional values, bonding with the own country or one's country. Okay. And then they will be actually developing themselves as a responsible citizen globally. Okay. So the vision written is this. The statement of vision written like this, you can see. The vision of policy is to instill among the learners deep-rooted pride in being Indian, not only in thought, but also in spirit, intellect, and deeds, as well as to develop knowledge, skill, values, and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development, living, and global well being. And thereby, they will be reflecting them as a truly global citizen. So this with this vision statement, we have noted that yes, to develop this NEP, our guiding light was our old or ancient Indian knowledge. And it is reflected in the document that they have identified these world-class institutions in ancient India, like Takshila, Nalanda, Vikramshila, etc. The highest standard of multidisciplinary teaching, which was actually there, as well as research. And we have seen all of us that it hosted scholars and students across the countries, like not only from India, all over the world. The students actually, they came to our those institutions, ancient institutions or universities. They learn from us. So this concept or this history has got very important role in our NEP document. They have also mentioned the philosophers, the scholars of ancient India, like Charaka, Sushruta, Arjavata, etc., Chanakya, them, and also told that the fields you can see in this that ancient days university, it was in a very big domain, starting from mathematics to, you can see, yoga, fine arts, chess, and many more. So all dimensions were there in ancient India. Indian culture and philosophy that time, it had a very strong influence on the world. Okay, and that's why we, when we framed this policy, flexibility is considered one of the main thing. The students should enter at their wish. They can leave at their wish also, and so multiple entry, multiple exit system must be there, along with choice of subjects must also be there. There will be no separate distinction between science and arts, or maybe vocational and technical kind of thing. It will be completely a multidisciplinary concept, or better to say, this will be an holistic education where science, social science, arts, humanities, sports, all will be integrated. And this will be focusing to conceptual understanding, not only rote learning and writing in the examination. Creativity and critical thinking will be at the focus of this education. Yes, the aim is to make good human being. So ethics, human and constitutional values must be developed among the students. So that will be a part of education. Life skills like teamwork, communication will also be there. There will be regular formative assessment of learning, and not only the summative assessment, regular continuous formative assessment to be there in the curriculum structure. Then there must be respect for diversity and respect for local context. That's why I told that means the language is local language or mother tongue. Then local vocational experts or industries, those that respect must be there with respect to this local context. And equity, equity and inclusion is the center of this. So that's why flexibility is kept, because if it is not possible by someone to continue the education, he can leave the path, and then again when he at his own means workable time, he can come back and join from that level only. The credits will be actually kept in his credit bank. Okay, so that credit bank concept is also there. Resource efficiency, because there is a plan to for resource sharing among the institutions. Teachers and faculty are the heart of this. And you know, when we need to make a change in education system, the changing agent is our teachers. So that's why the teachers are at the center. Teachers education is at the center of this national education policy. and there will be a light but tight system. Okay, light but tight system. Okay, that is kept, and there will be autonomy. Outstanding research is another thing, so it will boost the research in environment of the institutes, as well as funding assistance will be there. Continuous policy making, because we will be working on this policy, and there will be some changes, so always that will be there. We have to work with together, work together, discuss, and grow up together. Education is a public service. Remember, we should remember that it is not a commercial activity, so that must be taken care of, that there is a right for every children, every citizen should get that education. And the last point considered is substantial investment in a strong and vibrant public education. Now, based on that, some terms always we get in national education policy. If we open, one term is multidisciplinary, another term is innovative. We have to understand all the terms. Then equitable, because the policy is focusing towards multidisciplinary education, trying to have innovation in teaching as well as in learning. Then it is equity is the focus of the education. Flexibility is everywhere, because if we want to make it equitable, make it innovative, flexibility is a part of that. Multilingual education, because here the concept is three languages are there. One is the state language, the second one is region specific language, and third is by choice of the student. So three language will be there in the education system. And the last term, which will be familiar too, is the liberal education. Liberal means we will be free to have education. Free is not financial, free is the choice of education will be as per wish of the student. So for that, quality universities are needed, and this university, you can see they have means analyzed all the problems in the present case, and they want to re-energize the higher education system. So what is their concept? Their concept is large multidisciplinary university and college, at least in each or near to every district. Okay, and there it is not only master's course, the multidisciplinary undergraduate education must be there. Multidisciplinary undergraduate education, rest are already talked of. Okay, and to establish the research facilities, a formation of national research foundation, they thought of who will be taking care of whom to give research funding, and that will be decided on the proposal sent by the institute or the person, faculty, which will be peer reviewed, and then funding will be provided. So this is one attempt already made. Another very important point considered is the autonomy of that is qualified independent board. Since the academic autonomy, administrative autonomy will be given, so board will be there. A board of BOG will be constructed, and this will be highly qualified body, and they will have the autonomy to take decision about any academic as well as administration. And we have to remember it that the online courses, open schooling, or open distance learning cannot be done by small institutes, because that will be a part of this large multidisciplinary universities or institutes only. So we cannot just run everything. We have to make ourselves first the standard, then only we will be able to offer those kind of courses, right? So now coming to the higher educational institutes, as I told, in school level, the integration of vocational education will be there. Similarly, in higher education institute also, vocational subjects is necessary to build capable and competent individual for 21st century. So means vocational subjects will also be offered through higher educational institutes. So you can see that vocational education is integrated throughout our education system, starting from the school level to the higher education. At every level, this will be integrated as per the document of National Education Policy 2020. And what is the aim? Aim, you can see that higher education, including vocational, now this is that, okay, but that gross enrollment ratio is 26%, 26.3 in 2018, but this will be increased to 50% in 2035. The policy also provides for the National Testing Agency. So this is another point you can note, that yes, there will be NTA whose task will be actually taking the test. So every entrance that will be done by them, even the teachers, those who will be coming to join the teaching job, they have to also go through this assessment process of NTA that is decided. So all kind of testing will be done by National Testing Agency. So it is required that institutions must be restructured. And it is thought that yes, one campus of university will be having 3,000 students or more than that. So you can imagine how much vibrant institutes or campus will be there when there will be 3,000 students staying in the campus. Okay, so this is the structure dream in this NEP 2020. So higher education institutes will be offering undergraduate, postgraduate, research, all. They will also be engaged in community development works, right? There will be several programs across STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, as well as arts field like social science, management, everything, along with vocational fields, right? So you can see the dimension of the institutes. And in that way, there will be only three categories of institutes. The first one be named as research intensive universities, that is the type 1, then teaching universities, next one, and the third one will be autonomous degree granting college. So you can remember the whole structure of education system for higher education will be then converted to three types of institutes. One is research intensive university, the other one is uh, teaching intensive university, the third one is autonomous degree granting college. So these are the three, right? So then you can imagine the school system is changed, the vocational is integrated, the universities are restructured, and we got three different kinds. So what will happen? Either there will be cluster formation, or The institutes will not be then means they will be closed down. Either it will be clubbing to, three options are there. One is exist with this kind of structure as mentioned in NEP 2020. Another, you may be a part of a bigger one. So you are a part of in the cluster thing. Okay. You are very specialized institute. So you can be a part of a multidisciplinary university. The third one, if we cannot exist in any of the way, then we have to close down that, which is not preferable. So other two we need to plan. So that's why everybody need to shift towards holistic education with less rote learning, right? So holistic education is our aim. Multidisciplinary structure is asked. You can see what are the departments will be requiring then in the concept of multidisciplinary. You can see language, literature, music, philosophy, ethnology, art, dance, theater, education, mathematics, statistics, pure applied science, sociology, economics, sports, other such subjects needed for a multidisciplinary, stimulating Indian education. And this will not only be there because our professional, that is engineering, etc., will also be a part of that, right? And student will get a chance of opportunity of internship with local industry, local business, artist, craft person, even village or communities, local communities, and they can continue their research work on that domain also, along with the faculty member as well as researchers of the institute. So the research environment and the teaching or learning environment is again integrated. This is not a separate thing that you first finish learning, then go for research. The thing is, you can do it parallelly. You can do it parallelly, and that is reflected. Another very important point actually discussed in NEP is internationalization. Now, this means what? Yes, as it is reflected, we should go for global standard. So we'll be making our education system a premium education at affordable cost, and the standard of education will be global. And then what will be the, we can go in two ways. One, the global some foreign universities, a very standard word, top rankers universities of the world, they will come and join, they will establish their center, operate from India also. Our student will be getting a chance to join in foreign universities in the country itself. The other one is some universities or that teaching universities, multidisciplinary one, can make themselves ready to join in the foreign countries also. So there will be some foreign universities coming to our India, and the other one is some universities of India can go and establish their center at other foreign countries also. And there will be a door open of exchange of faculty and student with the very good global institutions. So this is the plan for internationalization, but we need time to make ourselves ready for that, right? Time given is 10 years, we will be ready, making ourselves ready. And then 2035, this NEP will be completely actually implemented in the country. So 2030 is for us to make ourselves the changes what we need, identify, plan, and then in 2030 to 35 we should execute one after another what is reflected in national education policy. So we got the reforms in this higher educational institute, three types I told. Another very important thing written, there will be some universities which will be Meru, which will be actually acting as the model multidisciplinary education and research university. So both the criteria will be there, and it will be in or every district one, which will set us, show us the highest standard. There will be National Research Foundation, I shared. Yes, that will help us or boost us to develop the research culture in our university or autonomous college level. To promote multilingualism, Indian language, again, there will be setting up of institutes which will help us to do that. Then another important thing is National Educational Technology Forum, which will be working for that digital learning part. So that forum will help us to create the facilities in our own institutes so that we can also go for, along with contact mode, go for this digital learning also. Now, another very important thing is their teacher education. As I told, yes, teachers at the center, teacher education is needed, and it is already observed, because if I am a teacher, I have to teach in a multidisciplinary culture, I must have a training. So, yes, I have to have a training, very good training on that. Unless I am confident, I have trained, then I am not able to teach in this environment. So, teacher education is again a focus of National Education Policy 2020. And for that, what is plan you can say? By 2030, the 4-year integrated B.Ed offered by multidisciplinary higher education. So those, the multidisciplinary institutes, the teaching as well as research, both of them will run this 4-year integrated B.Ed. Okay, and then it is not that that will provide a holistic view of teaching, not only a subject but also along with subject the pedagogy, both the things will be there. So the said 4-year integrated B.Ed course will be what? Dual major holistic bachelor degree. So it's a major and minor concept will be there, and major holistic bachelor degree in education as well as a specialized subject like chemistry, physics, or history. Okay, so this concept is already brought through this NEP, and this will be offered by not a teacher training institute but from all kind of this multidisciplinary universities. And I told, yes, pre-service teacher program, they have to go through assessment and will be taken by an NTA, National Testing Agency. They will test not only the subject but also aptitude. Both will be. Professional education also interdisciplinary, like our engineering education, multidisciplinary. All institutes will be ready in 2030, and it must go for globally competitive, and they have to accept the challenges with time. Holistic education, yes, holistic means overall education, and it is indicating the 64 colors or arts which is reflected in our old or ancient universities. And you can see this is science, vocational, professional, soft skill. Basically, these 4 fields will constitute the 64 arts, and which is reflected as liberal education or liberal arts in today's language, right? So liberal education is nothing but it is a combination, integration of these four fields of education, right? Now, the last part of that, yes, Manoj sir, I have time to continue, or I
Yes,
have to
ma'am.
close it?
Yes, ma'am. You have time. No
Okay,
problem.
okay.
Okay.
So let me finish up this regulatory system. Yes, what is the plan about regulatory system? Because I start with that we don't have a mechanism, regulatory mechanism today. That's why we are unable to develop ourselves or go for the global standard. So this is very important. Now, for effective regulatory system, is that it should have a focus on every essential thing. And if it is as means one global agency must be there, and along with that global, some executive agencies must also be there. So that's why this plan is taken here, that yes, there will be a single empowered responsive regulatory authority. Yes, let's see what is there in the regulatory system. Distinct functions of regulation, accreditation, funding, and academic standard setting. These four are four distinct functions of a regulatory, effective regulatory system. One is regulation, the norms, rules to be clearly written, okay, so that I can see it, I can follow it. Then accreditation, whether I am doing it or not, there must be somebody to validate that. Then funding, because if I want to have something, I need fund. And then academic standard setting. So these four structured, actually thought of, will be given to four independent verticals, but these verticals will be under one umbrella, which is termed as Higher Education Commission of India, HECI. So this is the single regulatory body, but it will contain four verticals. What are the four verticals? One is National Higher Education Regulatory Council, NHERC. So it will give this direction, or its function is this. Then second vertical is meta accrediting body, which is termed as National Accreditation Council. It's not NAC, it's NSC, National Accreditation Council. And then third one, you can see the Higher Education Grants Council. That is for here, that is for grant. So HEGC. And the fourth one is General Education Council, which will set the standard, which is GEC. So under this HECI, we will have four bodies or four councils, but they will also be independent in working, right? They will be reporting to the main one, but they will be working in their own area, own domain independently, right? And see, this GEC, it has the role. What is the role? Setting the level standard. So for higher education, it will do based on the graduate attributes, which we are doing for MBA also, right? Then their work is also to integrate vocational, and that's why they have to work with this national skill qualification framework. So they will go for one framework, which is National Higher Education Qualification Framework, and this will be actually integrating NSQF, which is our vocational education framework, so that two can be merged together or handshake together. And that work is from this GEC's work, domain of work, right? So one multidisciplinary university will be able to give degree, diploma, certificate in skill area, in professional area, in general area, everywhere, right? So this is the framework which need to be constructed, still not constructed, but it will be constructed, right? Now the last part, the we this is just for your awareness I shared, because the document is a first document. Even I have not read each and every line of that, and that's why I'm just trying to learn it, and I shared how much I learned. So plan for implementation to be there, each of us to have a plan, action plan, right? What is the aim of the Ministry of Education, that a little bit we are understanding while going through this? First, which we are doing now, to reach, to share the knowledge for awareness. So we are trying to make ourselves aware of national education policy at the level of state, as you are doing for Bihar, you are doing at the level of school. Myself, I'm doing for the teachers, parents, we have not done, communities we need to do also. So this is the first part which we have started it. Second, after this, we have to go for plan at central level, plan at state level, plan at micro level, when at our institute level. Third, we have to implement our plan. So we need to devise a clear implementation strategy with distinct responsibilities, along with timeline and outcomes to be written, a target to be fixed at every level. So that is for implementation. And then while implementing, we have to see, monitor and guide to be there. So we have to work together. It should be a robust system. We need support, guidelines. We need innovative projects for that. In this systemic research to be done, and we need to define the goals and targeted for ourselves. Unless we move in this direction, I don't think the whole policy which is prepared with a very good objective will be able to achieve that objective. With this, I am just closing this presentation session. And yes, what next? If you have some question, you please ask, or I will request, yes, Manoj sir, if you have
Yes, ma'am.
something,
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
you
One
can.
minute.
I have finished. Thank you very much for patience hearing.
Thank you, ma'am. So 1 minute.